Okay, hi, so I'm Julius Borghardt. I'm here with STK. We do business. We apply Lisp in business specifically. And a lot of you are much more experienced than I am in writing Lisp. I'm just very new, been here a year or two. And a lot of you, though, haven't yet applied Lisp in a business environment. So I'm going to talk to you about what it's like to do that and how it is different from writing something you actually want to do yourself. So, I was a... What? No. Yes, I was approached by a client and asked to do something called geocoding. I implemented in our software. What is geocoding? Real quick, you look up a location for a given coordinates, or you look up the coordinates for a given location and receive information about what's there. So our client wants to do this, and I say, okay, yeah, easy. We have an API. We can put information into there and receive what's there. Easy. We have a lot of objects in a database that have addresses already. I just write an import script and pump all of those into the API, and yet I cannot. We are limited by the amount of API calls we can actually make to the database that translates that stuff for us. So what do we do about this? We ask the customer, okay, we need you to pay for a service that can provide more calls, and yet we only go from 1 call per second, which way too little, to a software that can answer any amount of calls per second, but only 30,000 in a month. Still not enough. So we work methodically. You're familiar with methods in Lisp. We constructed methods that are executed anytime an object is interacted with in a certain way, for example, shown or edited. And we say, okay, anytime an object is shown or edited, before that happens, quickly try to look at the coordinates, put them in. If you fail, don't do it again because we have internet problems or something, so it still loads. And then proceed to show that to the client, and the client will experience the software as if the coordinates were there for everything that he needs to look up. Work around with that. So lesson learned, you can't always get what you want. You can't always just import everything. You need to work around the constraints. Then, next step, the client says, okay, now I want to calculate the amount of distance between any two given coordinates. And I look up the best algorithm to do that. And it's way too slow. It takes forever. If I try to do that with the entire database, we'll be here all year. So I say, okay, a good horse only jumps as high as it needs to. And we don't need to have the coordinates be precise to the millimeter, so we approximate. And we use something called the havign formula to calculate the amount of distance between 2 points of a ball. We pipe in the radius of the Earth in kilometers into this formula. And then we find a distance that is very close to the actual coordinate distance, but not quite it. So lesson learned, you don't need to write the perfect algorithm at all times. You need to write one that matches the requirements. The requirements were to be fast, and this is faster. So, what do we learn? Limitations are part of the job. You can't write code for a company always the same way you would for a personal project. It needs to work for the client. And you have to sort of use what you have. You can't start making everything from scratch anytime you work on a project. You need to use the tools that you have available, in our case, our framework. This is exactly what I did here. And I think I'm the only speaker so far that's actually under the time requirement. So I'll now take questions about how it is to work in the industry. Anyone? Time's running, people. Cool. If you want, I can fill the time. Yes. Okay, so I'm the first time in Vienna here. No, so Lisp is an excellent tool to work around limitations and solve problems in ways, you know.
1 minute left.
I'm dying out here. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go next. Anyway, Lisp is a great tool. You can use it anywhere. Thank you.